Welcome to Enhancing Self Efficacy, Unit 1, Part 12 of the Quickstart Guide for Recovery from Addiction and Co-occurring Disorders by Dr. Dawn-Elise Snipes. Efficacy is our belief in our ability to manage our physical health and conditions, including taking medications and doing treatments necessary. Our belief in our ability to manage our moods, our thoughts, our ability to learn. Our belief in our ability to manage and control our environment and our relationships. Self-efficacy involves judgments of personal capabilities that can change according to the task involved. For example, I believe that I have a fair amount of capability when it comes to cooking spaghetti or when it comes to cooking meatloaf. But when it comes to cooking something fancier than that or cooking a souffle, for example, I don't have as much self-efficacy or self-confidence. So our efficacy changes according to the task. You may think that you are a really good boss, but you may not think that you're as good of a friend or as good of a parent or vice versa. Recognizing where your confidence is important, and building your confidence in those areas that are important to you is also important in recovery. People who lack confidence in their ability to recover are less likely to engage in those recovery tasks or keep going in the face of adversity. If you think that you can do this, if you think that recovery is an option for you, that you can do what's necessary, then even when you hit a little speed bump, you're going to keep on going. If you don't think that you can do it, then as soon as you hit that bump, you're going to be like, see, told you, couldn't do it. And you may be more likely to give up. So it's important to increase your efficacy, your confidence that you actually can recover. Lack of confidence in daily life and anxiety or depression have a serious impact on your overall status and your willingness to do things. If you don't feel confident, if you don't feel competent, then you're probably not going to try to do new things. You're probably not going to get outside of that comfort zone. You're probably not going to try to do things that require a lot of effort because you're afraid that you'll fail. Higher self-efficacy, higher self-confidence means a high probability of success, which could make you more willing to try things in the future. So if you have high self-confidence and you think, I can do this, then you're going to be more likely to go out and try new things. And if it works, great. You can look back on it and go, I did that. If it doesn't go great, you can look back and go, I tried. I've succeeded at a lot of other things that I've tried. I failed at this one thing. So let me try it again, but do it a different way. Self-efficacy influences your level of effort and attitude toward difficulties and choices. If you've got low efficacy, low confidence, then you're not going to want to put out a whole lot of effort. If you've got high confidence that you can make this happen, then you are probably going to be like a bulldog on a bone. Self-efficacy affects your way of thinking, which also can help determine whether you're willing to take action or not. If you feel like you can do something and you can make a difference, then you're going to be more willing to try. If you don't feel like you can make a difference, then you're probably not going to try. So think about it. Spend about 20 minutes thinking about whether you have the skills and the ability to make positive changes in your life. I'm not asking about anything in particular. Do you have the ability to make positive changes in your life? If the answer is no, then what skills and abilities do you need? If the answer is sometimes, then again, the question is, what additional skills and abilities do you need? It's important to figure out what it's going to take for you to feel like you have the skills and abilities to make positive changes. What do you need? Do you need a mentor? Do you need a sponsor? Do you need, some kind of encouragement? What is it that you need in order to start taking these steps and feel like you have the ability to succeed? What would increase your self-confidence? What could you do? And I'll give you a little hint from the last presentation. If you start setting small, achievable goals, what can you do today to increase your self-confidence. So tomorrow morning you can get up and you can look back at today and go, I did that. Set small goals so that you can see the small changes. How likely do you think it is that you can get sober, and why? Start writing down why. How likely is it that I can get sober? And this is why I think that it's, there's a 90% chance or there's a 99% chance. See, I'm pretty hopeful here. How likely do you think it is that you can get happy, and why? Why do you think that it is relatively likely, that is pretty darn sure, that you can make changes and help yourself be happier? And finally, how likely do you think it is that you can get healthy? And you may have some underlying conditions, chronic conditions. When I say healthy, I mean as healthy as you can possibly be. And that includes managing any of those chronic conditions. But how likely is it that you think you can get as healthy as you can be, or you can improve your health? And why? Why is it that you think that there's a really good chance that you could make some small changes and improve your overall health? If you don't think there's a good chance that you can do it, you really need to look at those reasons why too, and start figuring out how to address those. In order to help you increase your self-efficacy, sometimes it helps to rehearse what's going on. If you need refusal skills, or you need to be more assertive in your communication, or you need help with handling emotions that feel out of control, so you need to practice distress tolerance skills, rehearsal is essential. If it's a new skill, or if it's not something that you do a lot, or not something that you are just A+ #1 champion at, rehearsing is helpful. Even, divers and golfers and, probably football players too, rehearse in their mind. They see themselves diving or swinging that club, or, whatever it is that they do. Envision yourself in the morning or in the evening, whenever you want to do your rehearsal. See yourself doing it and doing it well. Practice doing it with somebody. If you've got a sponsor that you can work with, or a coach or a counselor, practice refusal skills. Practice assertive communication. Practice distress tolerance skills. So, imagine, for example, when I have people in counseling, I ask them to imagine something that is stressful, and they feel themselves starting to get anxious. And I say, okay, now let's practice the distress tolerance skill. And they choose one, and we practice doing that together. So they're in session, so they're safe, but they are imagining something that starts to get them upset. They can feel themselves getting upset. Then they practice using that skill to re-regulate. Rehearsal is helpful. If you rehearse it every day, you're going to get a lot stronger and a lot more confident in your ability to use it in real life, in real time. Role modeling is also helpful. Think about something that you want to do. Maybe there's somebody who is happy, and you want to be like them one day. You want to have that level of happiness. Maybe there's somebody who is successful, or maybe there is somebody who has 20 years of sobriety. Find role models for your goals, so you can look and you can say, okay, what are they doing that I might be able to do that might be helpful to me? Not everything they're doing is necessarily going to be helpful to you, but looking at them, seeing that recovery or happiness or whatever it is possible is helpful. And looking at what they're doing to achieve it may give you some ideas about things that you never thought of that might be helpful. Get social support. Find people who are able to be supportive. Support groups is a great place to find them, but also look among your significant others, your family, your friends. Who is there that can be supportive of you? And this is the kicker for a lot of people, you have to communicate to them how they can be best be helpful to you. Sometimes people don't know how to be supportive. So if you tell them, and don't expect that they know what you need, don't expect that they know how to be supportive, because a lot of people don't. Tell them what would be helpful. It would be helpful if you called and checked in on me every day. Okay. If you tell me that's what you need, I can do that. I just need to know how it is I can best support you. You can also practice using biofeedback if emotional upset is one of your triggers for relapse. Biofeedback can be as simple as using a fitness tracker and monitoring your heart rate when your heart rate starts to go up because you're feeling anxious or angry. Practicing belly breathing to help re-regulate and trigger that rest and digest mechanism in your body. There are a lot of different things that you can do in order to increase your sense of confidence that you have the ability to make positive changes and to not be overwhelmed by things that happen. Spend some time, 40, 50 minutes, spend about an hour thinking about strategies to cope with cravings for your addictive behavior. Think about strategies, and I suggest you identify 10 strategies for each one. So that'll take you a little while. If you're doing this by yourself, go online. And, Google 10 ways to cope with anxiety, 10 ways to cope with cravings, and see what comes up. Again, some of the stuff that comes up, you're going to look at it and go, no, that's stupid. Won't work for me. Some of it, you're going, oh, I never thought of that. Find 10 ways to cope with cravings, 10 ways to cope with anxiety, 10 ways to cope with depression, and 10 ways to cope with pain when you experience it, besides taking opioids. Let's look at non-pharmacological interventions when at all possible.